Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the case of Michael White reached a conclusion yesterday after he was read his sentencing for the murder of Michael Chandler. And the National Guard is shifting gears from rescue to recovery as it continues to help folks impacted by the flood.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this Friday, March 14th, and it is 6:01, which means it is time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmall on this beautiful morning. And Megan and I, we saw the lunar eclipse today, which was very exciting. And that's like what? Not going to happen for a long time, correct?
Yeah, it won't happen again in America until March of 2026. But if you want to, go to Europe, you can see it in September of this year. Which, I mean, who knows? Some people might be going to Europe in September, right? Well, here's what you can expect as you're heading out the door. We do have some bit of clouds and satellite radar moving into the area, but for the most part, we are nice and clear this morning. We do have very slight chances of showers throughout the day, kind of similar to what we saw yesterday. And then as we go into this weekend, we do have chances for even stronger weather and severe possible as we head into your Saturday and Sunday morning. Here's a look at the current temperatures as you're heading out the door, and Amelia wasn't kidding. It's an absolutely beautiful morning with temperatures in the 40s and 50s. And as you head into the afternoon, even warmer weather. You can see the fast winds also accompanying those warm temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s. Here's how the temperatures will trend for throughout the next couple hours. We'll see the warmest as we're heading into about 4 o'clock. And we'll start cooling a little bit as you're traveling towards 8 a.m. That's when we'll start to see the cloud cover kind of pick up as well. Amelia.
Michael White was sentenced to 100 years in prison yesterday for the murder of Big Stone Gap, Virginia police officer Michael Chandler on November 13th, 2021. Chandler responded to a welfare check when he called dispatch asking for backup after a car left the home. Court documents say that White fired 8 rounds at Officer Chandler through the driver's side door, hitting Chandler twice in the wrist and in the abdomen. He later died from his injuries. White pleaded guilty to first-degree murder in May of last year. I was at the sentencing hearing yesterday. It was a day many folks in Big Stone Gap have been waiting for. The sentencing of Michael Donovan White for the November 2021 murder of Officer Michael Chandler, who was killed in the line of duty on his 29th birthday. Walking with officers out of the courtroom with a sentence of 100 years, essentially life in prison.
We now know for certain that Michael White will die behind bars. He'll die alone, he'll die cold in a box. And that's the only silver lining in all of this.
Prosecutors said with White's extensive criminal history and his complete lack of remorse for his crime, he deserved the maximum sentence.
To any perpetrator, any criminal that wants to harm the brave men and women that wear the shield, if you harm them, we will find you, we will arrest you, we will prosecute you, and if you take someone's life, you will never see the light of day ever again.
At the hearing, 6 family members read statements, reliving their last moments with Chandler, asking the judge to put White away for good, wanting nothing more than to have Chandler back and hear his voice one last time.
While the sentencing doesn't bring Michael back, it offers closure. He died protecting our community, a daily risk that every officer accepts when wearing the badge. Sighs of relief when the sentencing was announced. Judge Elkins saying he would not hesitate to sentence White to death if the law was different.
In my opinion, the Commonwealth of Virginia had every right and every interest in sending Michael White on the fast tracks to hell. But we did not have that option.
On the day that we buried Officer Chandler, I promised his wife, Natasha, that I would do everything within my power to see that Michael's killer never spent another day as a free man. Since that day, one of my main motivations every morning has been to fulfill that promise. My hope is that today marks day 1 that we can begin to feel some peace and some closure.
A video played to honor Chandler, giving family, friends, and brothers of the badge a chance to remember his legacy. His widow, Natasha Chandler, saying her life will never be the same.
Justice, the very principle he gave his life defending, has been served. This verdict marks a new chapter for my life. Though the path ahead remains challenging, I know that God will continue to guide us.
a legacy of hard work and sacrifice in the line of duty. White is being held at Western Regional Jail in Salem, Virginia. He awaits placement from the Federal Bureau of Prisons. He was previously sentenced to 100 years in federal prison for 7 counts in relation to Chandler's murder in U.S. District Court on February 28th. Another police officer died in the line of duty 7 years ago yesterday. Pikeville police officer Scotty Hamilton was shot and killed March 13th, 2018. And his department has worked to keep his memory alive every day since. Pikeville police posted on Facebook that Scotty was a devoted officer, loving husband, father, and friend, and embodied what it means to serve with honor, dedication, and selflessness. The man who shot him pleaded guilty and is serving a life sentence without the possibility of parole. A man is in custody after an officer-involved shooting in Fleming County. The Fleming County Sheriff's Office conducted a traffic stop yesterday on a Dodge truck driven by Isaac Spears of High Hat. When the truck failed to stop, a pursuit ensued. The truck Spears was driving got stuck in mud during the chase, but he still tried to drive off. They say the sheriff told Spears to stop, but he did not comply. That's when the sheriff shot at the window of the truck, prompting Spears to give up. KSP is investigating the incident. A deadly crash in Breathitt County blocked Kentucky 476 for several hours yesterday. Transportation officials say the crash at milepoint 10.5 involved a passenger vehicle and a gravel truck. State police say it was a head-on collision and 1 person was killed. Another person was treated for non-life-threatening injuries, and that road opened back up around 3:45 yesterday afternoon, and we're still waiting to learn who died in that crash. The Kentucky National Guard has been hard at work all week, helping with recovery efforts from last month's flooding. One of their focus areas is Corn Fork Road in Prestonsburg, just one of the hundreds of roads impacted. Using a grader, soldiers have smoothed out the roadway, making it safer for travel. They're also tackling drainage issues to help prevent further damage.
We'll build up the header walls around the edges of the culverts, clean out any sediment that's in them or any blockage. And as you build up those and improve those headers, that means that next time the water comes through as heavy as it did this last time, it's more likely to keep its integrity.
The crew expects to be finished by the end of the day today. Then they're off on a similar mission in another impacted area. Today, the Appalachian Arts Alliance is hosting its 5th annual St. Patrick's Day celebration. The 21 and over event will feature live music from the Creekers, along with drinks, snacks, and outdoor games. Admission is $20, and people are encouraged to bring art supplies to donate to children affected by recent flooding. Organizers say it's a chance for the community to relax and reconnect after weeks of recovery efforts.
One thing that I will always, advocate for and tell everyone, and that I know is true, is that the arts can heal. And so I think just getting together and just being around people and getting to listen to music and having conversations, I think is going to be really healing for a lot of us after, working very hard this past month on flood recovery.
The celebration begins at 6 tonight at the Art Station on Main Street in Hazard.
Let's talk temperatures this morning, because as you're heading out the door, it's going to feel much warmer than you'd expect this time of year. Normally, the high temperatures of the day are in the mid to upper 50s. However, some cities like Pikeville are seeing that right now. Temperatures are between the 40s and 50s, and as we head into the afternoon, you're only going to continue to see those temperatures warm up as afternoon highs are in the upper 70s and low 80s. So we'll continue to have those warmer weathers and also fast winds as you're traveling into the afternoon. Here's a look at satellite and radar this morning. Nice and calm. We did have a nice break from the clouds, so we got to see a beautiful view of the lunar eclipse this morning. But we do have more clouds rolling into the area as you're going throughout the day, and very slight chances of some showers similar to what we had yesterday. And as you're going through the next couple hours, here's what you can expect. Cloud cover will increase, and then we'll hit the high temperature around that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock mark today, and then we'll cool down overnight, but not by too much, seeing temperatures in the low 60s. Amelia?
Thanks, Megan, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. We've got more news on the way. 2 judges are ordering federal workers be reinstated, calling the way they were fired an illegal process.